I said, why don't
Yeah, I
you?
don't believe in marriage.
Why don't you believe in marriage?
Because it's a massive L for dudes.
Why is it massive L for dudes?
The financial repercussions are significant in the event of divorce.
Then why aren't you marrying someone that actually loves you?
That actually loves me?
Because like, why would you get divorced?
Is that actually a question?
For in your mind, why are you so worried about divorce if you're committed to someone?
You think people that get married go into that specific marriage with the anticipation that they were eventually going to get divorced?
No, but why are you so worried about it? If you're committed to someone like them, they're committed to each other.
Because women are fickle. Y'all change your minds.
Men change their minds.
Yeah.
Till death do us part don't mean nothing to y'all. It
That's
don't
a lie.
mean nothing. It's true. 80% of divorces are initiated by women.
What are the men doing?
That's true. It's even unbelievable, the fact that a woman in 2024 is shocked, one, that men don't want to get married anymore. But number two, she's shocked on why they don't want to get married, with all the prenup talk and all the divorce rate and everything else, and the family court system and the family court laws. I'm shocked that a woman in 2024 is shocked that men don't want to get married. You know, because for them, it's about the love story. It's about the Disney fantasy and, oh, I got married to the love of my life. And he's right. They get married to the love of their life when they feel like that. But as soon as they stop feeling like that, like, oh, I got married to the love of my life, or you stop doing something as a husband, right away to the family court, divorce, take your kids, take your house, take everything. And then you got to pay child support, you got to pay alimony while she has a new boyfriend sleeping with her in the same house that you bought when you guys got married. So men are like, I ain't taking that deal. I'm shocked that she can't even see that.
A godly woman. A godly.
There you go. She'll believe in biblical values.
He doesn't take those views.
Oh, right.
So it's like, sure, as a Christian, we can go forward and say,
so it's just like
we're called to do that.
But
yes,
even
we're called to do that.
Even Christians again, even Christian women are filing for divorce from their Christian men in their Christian marriage, ending their Christian marriage. Even people who got married in churches are getting divorced. So the whole thing of find a Christian woman, this and this, they change their minds too. But they know the family court laws are on their side, so they don't care. As soon as they feel anything different, if they wake up tomorrow morning and you don't say, good morning, baby, I love you, she could literally file for divorce and you're gone. So it doesn't matter how Christian she is.
Yeah, but even Christian people get divorced.
Wait,
do you think Christianity is a antidote to divorce?
Nope.
I think, now look, I'll be
Orthodox.
charitable, right? So I think the rates of divorce among religious people is lower. I'll grant that. But divorce still occurs.
Yep.
And
So
usually it
even
occurs for
pious
small
Christian
reasons.
women, I mean, Andrew brought up Stephen Crowder before. This man, I don't know the full details of their conflict or dilemma or whatever.
Louder with Crowder.
They were both virgins, I think, when they met. They're both Christian. She's divorcing the guy. Being Christian does not preclude you from divorce.
Yep.
And also, when you do get divorced, your faith, your values, the church is not going to oversee the divorce.
Yeah, it's the judge, the state. The judge, the pastor doesn't come in when you guys are in family court. No, it's the judge. The pastor, I wish they would bring in the pastor and be like, hey, these guys held their vows. This person is not holding on to their vows. They get nothing. No, it's the judge who's going to be like, I don't care why you guys are getting divorced. He will give the judge will give the kids to the pet to the mom. They will tell you to move out, to go find you a new place. They tell you to pay spousal support, alimony, and then she will go on find a new man as you go on try to work longer hours trying to pay her for divorcing you. That's not a good deal.
The state is going to oversee the divorce, and that's absolutely catastrophic to men most of the time.
Yep.
If I could add, I think, I'm not sure, I'm not Christian, so I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't
it considered a sin in Christianity to divorce?
Yes.
So
It is, but
that's
there are
why
some-
I think it would be
There
less.
are exceptions.
Yeah.
Wait,
Like
but
if
here,
a man
let me ask
cheated
you
on a
let
woman,
me ask you a question.
there was
Man.
infidelity.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're married to a guy. You get married to him, and there's no abuse. There's no infidelity. You've fallen completely out of love with him, and you're vaguely unhappy. But there's no abuse. There's no abuse. There's no infidelity.
Sorry.
But you're really unhappy. But he treats you well enough. Again, no abuse, no infidelity. Is that pretext for divorce?
I think divorce is just a cheap escape. I think there's things that can be worked out. I think there's things that can be prayed about. There's elders of church, there's pastors that I'm like, this situation has happened in my church before, and it's been solved through speaking to pastors, through speaking to family members, through talking to each other. Even like this couple, they spent a week apart and they came back and they talked, and they had a whole bunch of issues, but in the end they came back together and they found peace and they found
Hail
themselves.
and well met. Lol Paladins donated $200.02. Brian, just be like the sim, I mean genius, sitting at the table and marry a millionaire prostitute so that she can't take your money when she gets bored of the grift.
You spent $200 on that?
202.
Wait, so Lol Paladins, thank you for the TTS. Go ahead.
Wait, can you?
And we're back at the point
Why
of
do I go
like
back again?
Save your money.
Look,
with like
okay,
the marriage.
let me ask you then. If a woman is just vaguely unhappy, but there's no abuse and there's no infidelity, is that enough pretext for divorce?
No,
Okay.
no.
But in her head,
Yeah.
and at least how the laws allow it to occur, she could get a divorce, right? You acknowledge she could get a divorce.
could.
Right.
Right.
And they do file for divorce all the time because I'm not happy anymore. I don't feel, I'm not in love with you anymore. So I'm just going to file for divorce. Like, that's not a good enough reason to break up the family, especially when the kids involved. You guys maybe have been together 5-10 years. You've built stuff together. And then, because love is not something that you feel and stays the same way. It's just like happiness. One day you wake up happy, one day you wake up unhappy. But that doesn't mean you take your life or life stops to move on because you feel something. If this person has not abused you physically, is taking care of the kids, doing their best, but you just don't feel whatever you feel, I don't think that should be reason enough to file for divorce. But women do it all the time. So men are like, it's not a good deal, so I'm out. I'm not signing the deal.
And then the faith, the Christian values go out the window when her secular lawyer, because most people don't navigate a divorce without counsel, and her secular attorney is going to say, well, you're entitled to XYZ and communal property, and there was no prenup, and now you get, this much amount of alimony, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and all this kind of stuff. Men fare so terribly when it comes to divorce, and there's a bias in the court system. Let me tackle it from this perspective. So when it comes to this marriage thing, all right, I would like to hear from you guys. I've already presented a bit of my thoughts on marriage, divorce. I actually think a better starting point, though, would be, can you present to me compelling and convincing arguments why I or other men should get married, as opposed to having long-term monogamous relationships?
Good question.
I think there's a whole bunch of advantages. Well, first of all, children is a big one. You said you said you wanted 7 sons.
I can have children outside of wedlock.
How do you know that? What reason would that woman have to stay with you?
Yeah, you didn't really answer the question, though. So
I know. I'm giving you like examples. I'm like saying,
so
with marriage is kind of like, people say they lock down, right? Marriage, you can divorce, but I feel like if you want kids, right? And I'm not saying this is with every marriage. I'm just saying, like, let's say in your case, you want kids, right?
Sure.
And a woman who is not married to you, what why does she have to stay with you if you're not married? If you're not, like, what are you going to be giving to her outside of wedlock?
Wait, so our love and the continuity of our relationship is contingent upon marriage?
No, I'm not saying that.
She must not love me very much if it's contingent upon this.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, okay, so you want to have like give me a second. You want to have a married life just without the ring, without the sign, the papers.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
That's what most.
What's the argument though?
What are you fearful of?
No, I have an argument.
He's been explaining what he's fearful of, and I'm surprised even this guy doesn't get it. He just explained what happens in divorce court, in family court, when men get divorced. They lose their kids, number one. They lose their houses. They have to pay child support, spousal support, alimony, and all those things. And their lives are destroyed because someone doesn't feel the love anymore. If men were going to be rewarded with all those things, most guys would say, I would get married today. If I knew that the family court laws were going to be in favor of me, I would get married today. I would get married to Oprah and take half her billions. I don't care. I would.
Wait, hold on. One at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
So many Christians at the table, Brian.
Wait. So because a woman can leave you just as easily as she can divorce you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you want? And the thing is, if she, actually, there's a whole bunch of like ways that. Because I was about to say that, like, if she has a ring on her finger, she has you. She's loyal to you. She's locked down. But I guess married women do cheat. So there's a lot of like things that can be said. Because like for me, I live a very godly life. I follow God. I want God to be at the center of everything. So in my mind, I see marriage as a way of joining a man and a woman into
Just assume,
marriage.
for the sake of argument, that the person you're trying to convince
is not
doesn't believe in your.
You have to take. I have.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So you're gonna have to present secular arguments on this one.
What were your arguments?
Skip me.
I did
grant-
research
I'll
and I
grant-
could not figure one out.
Hold on.
I could not.
I have
hold on,
one. Yeah.
I will grant that there are justifications for being married under a Christian worldview, Islam, Judaism. Maybe there's other religions out there that whatever. It's part of the faith. But you haven't really presented. I mean, even for Christian men, like there needs to still be compelling reasons to do something.
Yeah, I'm like, every time I try to think of something, honest, I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to think of something I could think of like a counter argument to it. So I'm not gonna lie. I've just always believed in marriage. I don't even know.
Because you're saying, well, one of the things I think one of the arguments you're about to make was, well, okay, wouldn't it solidify the relationship more? But
exactly.
the counter argument here is.
That's why I'm like thinking the counter argument.
The counter argument here is there's actually, now that we're married, now that the state is potentially involved, there's actually incentive for her to end the relationship. Financial incentives.
Financially.
Because if she ends I could just make the argument, she's more likely to stay with me because she has nothing to gain if she leaves me. But if she's married to me, she has a lot to gain by leaving me, which is potential alimony, splitting of community property. So.
Right, but
I like how we put that. It's like, if a woman is with you long term and there's no marriage, to some extent, she's with you for you to some extent. Like she knows if she leaves tomorrow, if she decides she wants to leave, she cannot take your house because you guys are not married. Let's say you live in a state where there's no common law. If she decides she wants to leave tomorrow, she can leave. It's your house. But if she's married, she even has more reason to divorce you or leave you because she knows if you got kids, even if it's your house, the judge is probably going to tell her to stay in your house that you bought with the kids and they're going to throw you out. So I agree with Brian, definitely. Marriage will give a woman more reason to divorce you because she knows she has more to gain. But if she's not married to you, she's more likely to stay because she gets nothing out of it. If she decides to leave, she'll just pack her bags and leave you in your nice house. Anyway, what do you guys think? Full link down below to Brian's channel, whatever. Shout out to Brian and Andrew. Peace.